Good morning. It's Friday, February 20th. Here's what we're working on. Niagara's new regional chair is calling for urgent changes to the municipal government.
Alberta's premier announces a fall referendum.
Instead, be cutting unnecessary.
And it was an Olympic heartbreak as the U.S. women's hockey team beats Canada in overtime for gold. TGIF, and I have mixed emotions about this Friday because while I'm okay now, later on tonight, maybe not so much.
You're going to be sleeping in your car.
In my car for good cause. The United Way Sleepers for our community event. Looking forward to it a little bit.
Oh, tonight.
Yes. So do you have some good news for me, Brian?
Yes, actually, I do.
Okay.
It's not going to be frigidly cold for you tonight. So the temperature is going to stay on the plus side overnight.
Right.
Wow.
It'll be
nice.
balmy. You can have the air conditioning on.
Exactly. Yes.
Roll down the windows.
Yep, you'll enjoy it. Yeah, the temperature will fall to +1 tonight. So actually the temperature is going to fall today. It's going to climb, first of all. All right, we're sitting in the plus side right now, +1. So it's going to climb to 6 degrees today, so it's going to get mild. But then the winds, oh yeah, the winds are going to get really strong and the temperature will start to fall. We should hit 2 degrees by later on this afternoon. So the rain that we're getting, and we're getting rain right now, will cycle from rain to showers and then possibly mixing into some flurries for later on as that, as that temperature gets a little bit chillier. But at least as the good news for Rick is the temperature's only going to fall to the +1 mark overnight tonight and then be a cooler weekend to come. And we are going to get some flurry activity on and off because of those cooler temperatures. So we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes. Right now we have wet roads. Wet roads? No, that's not quite right, Brian. Wet roads to deal with here this morning. 403 Waterdown Road, that's doing okay at the moment, so nothing to see there. We'll show you some MTO traffic cameras. Look at the spray coming off the tires here. QEW Millen Road and the raindrops on the camera. That's Toronto bound coming towards us, Toronto bound away from us, top of the Skyway, and now east of Appleby. Both sides doing fine, so just the wet roads to deal with here this morning. We will look at weather and traffic in detail coming up. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Hamilton police are asking for help finding a missing man in Ancaster. 56-year-old Stephen Winter was last seen at around 8 yesterday morning near Book Road West. He's white, 6 feet tall with a medium build. He has blonde hair worn in a ponytail, and it's believed that he is dressed in all black clothing.
Hamilton's city budget process getting down to the wire. The residential tax increase currently sits at 3.87%, down from the 4.25% cap pitched by Mayor Andrea Horvath. Many councillors say they're unhappy with this new number, and they point to costs downloaded by the province onto municipalities as a reason for why the tax increase isn't lower. Here's Mayor Horvath.
I literally send emails out to all of the councillors, inviting them to come and have a conversation. Some councillors have refused to participate from day one.
Horvath now has a little more than a week to veto any budget changes passed by council. If she doesn't veto any amendments, the budget is deemed to be adopted.
Niagara's regional government could be in for some big changes. New regional chair Bob Gale wants to move toward either a one-city or four-city model and is asking for area mayors for their input. He's contemplating amalgamation of Niagara's 13 municipal governments, which have a combined total of 126 elected officials.
The front of an all-day breakfast spot on Hamilton's West Mountain has been destroyed after an SUV crashed into it. It happened just before noon yesterday at the Sunnyside Grill on Upper Paradise near Stone Church Road. There were customers inside, but no one was hit. A window was smashed and the front signage fell onto the sidewalk below. Police say the driver of the SUV was arrested after walking away from the crash scene. There is no word on exactly what charges they're facing.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says Albertans will vote on 9 referendum questions October 19th, many focused on immigration and provincial authority. She announced the votes in a televised address last night.
So instead of drastic cuts in upcoming budgets, we will instead be cutting unnecessary bureaucracy, improving efficiencies in program delivery, and prioritizing needs before wants as much as possible.
One question on the referendum asks whether non-permanent residents should pay fees for health care and education. Another would limit access to certain social services based on provincial immigration status. The ballot also proposes constitutional changes, including abolishing the Senate and giving provinces the power to appoint Superior Court justices. Smith says the issues are critical to Alberta's future as debate grows over immigration pressures and provincial autonomy. Coming up after 6:30 this morning, political analyst Keith Leslie will join us to discuss and address what it could mean for Ontario.
Canadian auto industry advocate is rejecting the Trump administration's claim that the Canada-US-Mexico agreement, CUSMA, has hurt the U.S. auto sector. The head of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, Flavio Volpe, says U.S. content in Canadian vehicles has actually increased under CUSMA. He says it doesn't come at a cost to our country because the Canadian content of vehicles has stayed roughly the same. U.S. International Trade Commission has launched an investigation into rules of origin regulations for automobiles under CUSMA. The trade pact is up for review this year. Some experts say Donald Trump is undermining his own agreement through tariffs.
India's envoy to Ottawa says Canada could sign a comprehensive trade deal with New Delhi within a year. Trade talks between the two nations have stalled multiple times since they started in 2010. The Indian High Commissioner says a 12-month timeline is realistic because both countries face a shifting geopolitical climate that requires them to work together. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to visit India soon, and it's believed the trip will involve meetings with a wide range of government officials and corporations in New Delhi and Mumbai. Both countries agreed to relaunch trade negotiations last November after years of interrupted talks. Both countries now want a comprehensive deal instead of one restricted to specific sectors.
Lawyers for Canadian billionaire Frank Stronach are set to continue cross-examining one of his accusers today. The defense started questioning the woman, the fourth complainant to testify in the case, after court took two unplanned pauses to deal with legal issues yesterday. They arose after the woman repeatedly referred to her prep meetings with the prosecution while testifying about an alleged sexual assault that took place in the early 1980s. The defense has indicated it will seek a stay of proceedings over allegations that some of the complainants had been coached by the Crown ahead of the trial. Stronach, who is 93, has pleaded not guilty to a dozen charges stemming from alleged incidents involving 7 women. They date back as far as the 1970s.
The former Prince Andrew has been released after about 11 hours in police custody. He was arrested early yesterday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. No charges have been laid so far, but police are still searching the Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor used to live. He denies any wrongdoing related to Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier and convicted sex offender. King Charles took the unusual step of issuing a statement on the arrest of his brother, saying the law must take its course.
Bill Gates has bowed out of a keynote address at a major AI summit in India. His foundation made the announcement just before the speech was to take place, saying that the move is to ensure that the focus remained on the summit itself. That's because Gates has come under fire due to recently released documents highlighting his ties with Jeffrey Epstein. Files include a number of emails between Gates and Epstein after Epstein's 2008 conviction on prostitution-related charges. Gates has strongly denied a series of graphic, unverified allegations related to those files. Well, the United States military could be ready to strike Iran as soon as this weekend. That's according to sources familiar with a White House briefing. Top administration national security officials reportedly met Wednesday in the White House Situation Room to talk about possible military action. Air and naval assets have been building up in the Middle East in the last few days. Donald Trump has hinted at a desire for a regime change in Iran and has insisted Iran not obtain a nuclear weapon. But he has said what he precisely his objectives would be in ordering the attack. And the sources say a final decision on whether a strike will take place hasn't been made. On Air Force One, the president told reporters he's extending his timeline for a decision, saying it could be 10 to 15 days, pretty much maximum. An Ontario court has recognized a U.S. bankruptcy filing from the operator of Eddie Bauer's Canadian stores. That would pave the way for any outcome in the United States proceedings to be more easily applied in this country. 24 of Eddie Bauer's 175 North American stores are in Canada. The outdoor apparel firm is trying to sell stores as it liquidates its business. U.S. President Donald Trump is planning to direct the Pentagon to release government files related to UFOs. In a Truth Social post, Trump says he'll direct relevant federal departments and agencies to start the process. He wants files on extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and all information connected to U.S. UFOs to be made public. It comes after former U.S. President Barack Obama appeared to confirm on a podcast last weekend that aliens do exist. Trump then accused Obama of revealing classified information on aliens, but Obama cleared up his comments, saying on social media he was referring to the very strong likelihood of life on other planets. A 2024 Pentagon report reiterated it had not found evidence of alien life. It's not clear when the records Trump is calling for will be made public. Well, NASA has finished a critical fueling test of its Artemis moon rocket after earlier hydrogen leaks delayed the preparations. Engineers have loaded more than 700,000 gallons of supercooled fuel and confirmed leakage was within the safety limits. The test clears an important hurdle ahead of the Artemis 2 mission, which will send astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, around the moon for the first time since 1972. Further analysis will determine whether the mission can launch during the upcoming window.
Oh, so close. Canada was 2 minutes away from Olympic hockey glory. But as baseball legend Frank Robinson once famously said, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Keller alone through two, a chance in the backhand, she scores! Megan Keller, the golden goal for USA!
Heartbreak for Canada. Megan Keller scored in overtime as the U.S. women's hockey team beat the Canadians 2-1 in yesterday's gold medal final. Kristen O'Neill gave Canada a 1-0 lead early in the second period when she scored a shorthanded goal, and it looked like that would stand up as the winner. But U.S. captain Hillary Knight, playing in what is expected to be her last game, tipped home the tying goal with 2 minutes left in the third period. It's America's third gold medal in women's Olympic hockey and the first since 2018. By the way, Switzerland beat Sweden 2-1 in overtime to claim the bronze. The Canadian men's hockey team takes on Finland at 10:40 this morning, with the winner moving on to Sunday's gold medal final. Now, the status of Captain Sidney Crosby remains unknown after he left Wednesday's quarterfinal win over Czechia with a lower body injury. Crosby did not practice yesterday, but head coach John Cooper says Crosby has not been ruled out for today's semifinal. Later on today, the United States plays Slovakia in the other semi. More medals are up for grabs on day 14 of the Winter Olympics, and Canada will look to add to its medal haul. Team Canada begins the day with 15 medals, 4 golds, 5 silver, and 6 bronze, good for 11th place in the medal count. Norway still leads the pack with 16 gold, followed by the U.S. and Italy with 9. Canada's Rachel Homan faces Sweden at 8:05 this morning in the women's curling semifinals. Brad Jacobs will take on Great Britain tomorrow in the men's gold medal game. Courtney Saroux competes in the women's 1,500-meter short track speed skating event, and she's looking to tie speed skater Cindy Clausen's Canadian record of 5 medals at one Olympics.
Looking for a big shot. The All-Star Brandon Ingram hits. It is a big one from BI with 35 ticks remaining.
Brandon Ingram scored a game-high 31 points as the Raptors returned from the NBA All-Star break with a 110-101 win over Chicago. Ingram also had 8 rebounds and 6 assists, while 5 other Raptors scored in double figures. Sitting in 5th place in the East, Toronto won for the 8th time in 12 games to improve to 33-23. The Bulls have lost 7 straight. Rory McIlroy and Jacob Bridgman shared the clubhouse lead at the Genesis Invitational after shooting a 5-under-66. Now, Aaron Ray is 1 shot ahead at -6, but he has 2 holes left to play because of a 3-hour rain delay yesterday. Scotty Scheffler is at 5 over par and tied for last place in the 72-man field. Sammy Lee has a 3-shot lead entering third round play at the LPGA stop in Thailand. The Toronto Rock host Colorado tonight at 7:30 at Hamilton's TD Coliseum. It's a rematch of last weekend's game in Denver, where the Mammoths won 16-8. Now, the first 5,000 fans tonight will receive a Latrell Harris bobblehead, and 100 of those fans will randomly receive a hand-numbered gold version of the highly sought-after collectible. Doors open at TD Coliseum at 6:30 tonight, and tickets are still available at torontorock.com. In the Allen Cup Hockey League, the Wentworth Griffins dumped the Dundas Real McCoy 6-1 last night. And in the OHL tonight, the Niagara Ice Dogs travel to Ottawa.
6:14. Hey, it's Friday. We made it. Well, it's been a short week for some because, of course, Monday was family day, but hey, Friday nonetheless. And it's a wet Friday. We've got rain coming down, but it's on the mild side as well. 403 and Waterdown Road is doing okay at the moment, so nothing really to see there. We'll go to some MTOs. We'll start in St. Catharines. Rain coming down here at the QEW Glendale. Nothing on the roads, as you can see right there. Midland Road, Stony Creek still looks fine. Fairview toward Brant Street, no problems. East of Royal Windsor through Oakville, all the way through Dixie. Not a lot happening on the roads, just a lot of rain and a lot of puddles. So be careful this morning. Let's check the temperature that we have to start our Friday morning here. Temperature right now, we are just on the plus side, +1 at the moment, but we do have that northeast wind that continues to be strong. It'll get stronger, a lot stronger as the day goes on, but we are getting some rain and we have a lot of fog in the area right now. So for school today, cloudy, rain. We're going to hit 6 degrees for the day. So it's going to get milder, but then it's going to get chillier as the afternoon progresses. The temperature will start to fall. Here's a look at the rain that we've had settle in over the past 6 hours. 6-hour loop just keeps repeating. You can see the brighter colors in there, some heavy downpours. Low pressure system to the west of us with that frontal boundary pushing its way across us. The winds are going to be strong later on this afternoon. Some areas, well, we could have wind gusts to 70. Niagara Falls could have wind gusts to 80 kilometers an hour later on today. So the rain is going to settle in. But as the temperature falls, and it will fall from these values, 5 and 6 degrees, 4 degrees for Peel and Toronto and Guelph and Kitchener, but we should hit 2 by later on this afternoon. Tonight, +1, so stays on the mild side. Temperature doesn't fall too far, and we will get some drizzle, some mixing precipitation is possible, some flurries as well. And then tomorrow, we're going to start off with some flurries, but then that could cycle into some showers, so some mixing as temperatures climb to 3 and 4 degrees. So, yeah, on the mild side again for tomorrow. So as you step out the door, 20th morning of February, our temperature now +1. We do have rain and a fair bit of fog. A fog advisory is still in effect for a lot of the horseshoe. We'll look at the long-range forecast in a few minutes. Coming up, of course, Annette Rick.
Thank you, Brian. Coming up after the break, Mother Nature has helped Canadian Tire's revenue in recent months. We'll tell you how after the break. 6:19 on your Friday morning. On the markets, the Canadian dollar is down slightly this morning, trading at 73.07 cents U.S. Gold is up $53 an ounce. Crude oil is down 3 cents, trading at $66.37 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, London, Frankfurt, and Paris are all up this hour.
Asian markets were down today, with Tokyo dropping more than 600 points. At yesterday's close, the TSX posted a 205-point gain, while both the Dow and the Nasdaq lost ground.
Popular way to get to airports across Ontario is shutting down. Airways Transit will cease operations tomorrow. The shuttle service has offered rides to and from airports in Hamilton, Halton, and Waterloo regions since 1975. The company says its business has been unprofitable since the pandemic. Customers who book shuttles on Airways Transit after February 21st are being urged to contact their credit card company to ask about a reimbursement.
Extreme cold and snow have helped to boost Canadian Tire's bottom line. Its fourth quarter revenue was up about $35 million from the same time last year. There were increased sales of snowblowers and shovels at Canadian Tire, and the sales of Blue Jays gear at Marks and Sport Chek during the World Series also helped. With winter still packing a punch, Canadian Tire is forecasting positive growth for the first quarter of this year.
Amazon has surpassed Walmart to become the world's largest company by sales. The e-commerce giant posted $717 billion U.S. in sales last year, edging out Walmart's $713 billion and snapping its 13-year streak at the top. Amazon's growth in cloud computing and advertising pushed it over the edge.
Donald Trump has issued an executive order to boost U.S. production of 2 chemicals that are widely used in weed killers. Trump has signed an order invoking the Defense Production Act, saying glyphosate and phosphorus are critical to economic and national security in the states. Glyphosate is the key ingredient in the weed killer Roundup, which faces thousands of lawsuits alleging links to cancer. Environmental advocates say that Trump's order is essentially a gift to pesticide companies. U.S. agriculture and defense partners will now decide how aggressively to implement the mandate.
All right, going to take a quick time out. Brian is going to be back with an update on your traffic and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
6:24 on the 20th morning of February. It is a wet start to the day, rain all around the horseshoe. And as you can see, it's still really coming down here at the QEW at Martindale. Lots of spray coming off the tires. That'll hold you back a bit, but there's no problem with traffic there. Oh, that camera was just there. Doesn't want to play today. Okay. QEW at Burlow, moving nicely. Nothing there. Lorne Park looks good. We'll dip into the 403 east of Mississauga Road. Traffic is moving fine. Just be careful of the wet roads. Could be a little bit slick because we are just around the freezing mark, particularly in Hamilton. We've got a lot of fog. We've got that rain, and the temperature for Hamilton +1 right now. 3 for Grimsby, 2 for Toronto and Mississauga. When we talk about seasonal temperatures, now they're coming up, which is a good sign that we're getting closer to spring. 0 for the daytime high is seasonal, and -8 for the overnight low. Those are our sun times. We gain another couple of minutes of daylight for the day. Sun comes up 7:11 this morning. We could get some mixing later on. Now this morning it's going to be rain. Should hit 4 degrees for the first bell this morning, and then 3. And there's that a mixed precipitation quite possible. Now the temperature is going to go up further than that today. We should hit 6 degrees today, so then the temperature falls off, the winds get really strong. So tonight +1. The vehicle up there, Rick is in his car tonight. He's going to be sawing logs tonight in his car, sleeping overnight in his car, and it's all for the United Way, and it's a fundraiser. So it's for sleepless for our community. You can get onto the United Way website and make a donation and help Rick raise lots of money. So 3 degrees tomorrow, and we could get some flurries in the morning, then cycling into some showers. 0 and flurries on Sunday. Then we get chillier, but at least we'll get some sunshine finally back Monday and Tuesday, -1 and -4. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Believe it or not, it's been more than 20 years now since YouTube came online.
And a museum in London is preserving part of that history. The Victoria and Albert Museum is displaying a reconstruction of an early YouTube webpage from 2006. It features the first ever video shown on the platform. It was called Me at the Zoo. It's a 19-second clip of then 25-year-old YouTube co-founder Jawed Karim talking about elephants. The museum says it took 18 months to rebuild the page.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of streaming.
Very much so. It's great that just a simple video of him at the zoo was the first one. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. Good morning.
I went to the zoo just the other week, saw the kangaroo.